I warned in 2008. I was sitting next to Linda McMahon, Saturday night, we were at a dinner. And Linda McMahon is sitting next to me. And I said, we were talking about the teachers' unions. And I said, I don't know if you remember this, Linda, but I remember in 2008, there was a little story in, I think it was in the Los Angeles Times. And I read this and I thought, oh my, trouble is coming. The teachers' unions in California had decided to remove one of their restrictions on teachers. And one of the restrictions was you could not have ever been a part of the Communist Party or anything that you could have never been involved with any group that had tried to actively overthrow the United States of America. And they removed that plank. And I thought, why on God's green earth would you remove that? Now, this is before anybody thought, oh, there's lots of communists and radicals and revolutionaries, okay? This is right at the beginning of the Obama administration. And before anybody really understood what we were facing. And I saw that, and I remember going on the air and saying, something's really wrong with the teachers' unions. Look out. Why would you do that? Well, we know why you did that. I mean, that's what brought Bill Ayers in and everybody else, and you can just do whatever it is you want, and it was in California. I've told you about this teacher in California 3 times now. I think the first time I talked about him was in 2010, and he was at I was at Fox, and he was with La Raza, a.k.a. The Race. And I showed you something that he was saying. He was saying at the time, this is not about immigration or immigrants. This is about the global struggle against imperialism and capitalism. And I said, how is this guy teaching in high school? How is this guy a teacher in high school? I then showed you him last year or earlier this year. Time just gets away from me now. During the L.A. riots, so within the last 9 months, the L.A. riots, and he was one of the organizers of Union del Barrio. He was one of the guys who was out saying, we got to stop ICE, we got to track ICE, whatever it takes on the streets. These are our streets, okay? Revolutionary. He's just won from the California Teachers Association the Human Rights Award. Why am I bringing him up again? Because it's not about that. I just want to show you that the teachers' unions are embracing him. Okay. He is now in the news today because he was at an anti-ICE protest where he stood in front of cameras and microphone and said, we want the ICE agents to know you're not the only one with guns. You are threatening the lives of civil servants. You are embracing a culture of death. You are saying, I don't agree with the law, and so I will take the law into my own hands, and I will start shooting civil servants, husbands, boyfriends, fathers. I'll just shoot them because I disagree with them. And this man is still teaching in California. Now, let me take this a step further. Representative Robert Garcia, at a press conference, announced with Democratic lawmakers their intention to create a master ICE tracker. Listen.
Over the course of the next couple of weeks, the Oversight Committee will be launching on their website a master ICE tracker where we're going to be essentially tracking every single instance that we can verify that the community will be able to send us information on.
So I want to remind you that the killer or the guy who attempted to kill ICE agents here in Dallas just a few weeks ago was using a tracker exactly like that. Now this is our Democratic representatives from the Democratic Party that are now saying they are putting a tracker together for ICE agents. This is assisting premeditated murder. I believe this is treason myself. You are going against the law, and you are now tracking federal civil servants. It's like saying, I'm going to put a tracker on every police car. No, try this. Would you be allowed to put a tracker on every Democrat in Congress and show where they are? I know, it's verified they're at this restaurant. I verified that they're eating at this restaurant. I verified they're at their house right now. I verified they're going to this meeting and they're going to go through this door. Would you be able to do that? Of course not. Why? Because insane people would try to kill them. Could I put a tracker on Air Force One? Could I put a tracker on Donald Trump and tell you his every move and where he's going to be at what time all the time? I mean, we get close enough to that. But you would not be able to put a tracker on the plane. Why? Because people could shoot it out of the sky. And if you think he's Hitler, why not shoot it out of the sky? This is lawlessness. Can the president send in the National Guard to these cities? Yes, by request of the governor, or if it is impossible because of the local community and local governments, state governments, if it is impossible for the federal law enforcement officers to enforce the law. You are giving him no other option, and they want it that way. They want him to send in the federal troops. They want him. They need him to do that because that will prove to all of their lackeys, all of the people who are not thinking at this critical time in our country. It will give them proof. See, he is a dictator. He's taking over law enforcement. No, he is protecting the lives of civil servants who are just doing exactly what the law is enabling them to do and demanding that they do. And you're targeting those fathers and mothers and sons. You're targeting them. What option does he have? The left is creating this culture of death. And if you honestly think, I mean, remember, look at what they did when, if you got out of line with the left, they cancel you. How many people were big on the left and then suddenly, you think Bill Maher is going to parties with everybody? They cancel you. You're dead to them. What do you think is going to happen? You're on their side today. You get out of line with people who are building a culture of death. You read about the French Revolution. It started all noble. Let's get the king. And before you knew it, they were turning on themselves. You've betrayed the revolution. You're a traitor to the revolution. And they started putting their own people into the guillotines and chopping their heads off. And I'm telling you right now, Chuck Schumer and the rest of the weasels in Congress, the people who allowed these radicals in the first place, in 2004, I said, you cannot let Michael Moore into the presidential box at the Democratic convention. You can't do it because they will eat you in the end. That wasn't a fat joke. Well, it might have been at the time also a fat joke. But people didn't see it coming. And I'm telling you right now, Chuck Schumer is afraid of a literal guillotine being rolled in front of his office or his house. Why are they not doing all of this with the shutdown? Why are they just absent and they're like, yeah, we're just going to keep going? Why? They're terrified of their own side because they know their own side will kill them. And they just keep encouraging it. They want a color revolution. I did this show last night on this. I've been talking to you about color revolution forever. I just, oh, that I'd have the voice of an angel and I could shake the earth. I wish more people could hear the warnings and pay attention. But that is not my concern. My concern is just to speak to you. Please, please listen. Color revolution is the plan. Civil war is on the horizon unless we live like Christ and we stand for the truth. Our own side is starting to fracture because you're buying into all of these crazy conspiracy theories. It's not this difficult. Restore the eternal principles. Stop going down these roads of conspiracy theories that just divide you from me and me from that person. We must stand together. Let's just agree on the Bill of Rights. Let's just agree on a constitutional republic. Let's just agree God lives. God loves us. We have to serve him, and the best way to serve him is by serving our fellow man with love and choosing life. If we get lost in all of the other stuff, we are done.